Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Katie. If you're new here, welcome. I am currently 37 weeks pregnant with my second baby. I cannot believe it. I also have a 2-year-old daughter, so I'll be a girl mom of 2 here in just a few more weeks, which is absolutely insane. Last week on Instagram, I asked you guys to all kind of play along with me what is typically a baby shower game, but obviously no baby showers are really happening in person right now, which has been kind of a bummer of this pregnancy going on during this time. But I have my virtual friends that you guys all came through, and we did kind of the guess the due date, or not the due date, but guess the expected arrival date, time, weight, and even name. And then I asked if you guys would want to see me do a baby names we love but aren't using video, and it was an overwhelming yes, like so many votes for yes on that poll. So I'm really excited to be sharing this with you guys today. So one thing that was funny is that most everyone was guessing for my baby's name, they were guessing that it would be an A name to go with Avery. But the funny thing is that I was adamant that it could not be an A name. I like the idea of all of us having a different first initial from a practical purpose of like labeling things. You can just put the first initial, or like Christmas stockings looking cute with just everyone's initial. So silly reasons like that, but that was just one thing that I was like, it's definitely not going to be an A name. And then everyone was guessing A names, which there were a lot of really cute ones, but none on my list because I knew that we weren't going to be using an A name. If you're new here, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can just stay up to date with all of the happenings around here. I've been trying to get the few final pregnancy videos I want to do out before baby's arrival, and then of course once she is here, we're gonna have a lot of like kind of vlog style videos, as well as other sit down videos too to share with you guys. So this baby girl is due very soon, and we have not announced her name yet. We have to people close to us just because my 2-year-old actually started announcing it. We made the mistake of telling her while also telling people that we were keeping it a secret, but then she started just saying it and then people heard it. So people close to us now know what the name is, but publicly we have not yet announced and won't until she is born. So if you don't know my story of me and my husband, you can go back and watch our 10-year anniversary video. It has a lot of throwback pictures and just a little more about our story. I also have on our blog a lot about our relationship, but basically we have been together for 11 years. This is our 12th year together, married for 4, and we're totally that couple that was talking about babies before we were ever even engaged. We just knew we were gonna be together forever, and we both always dreamed of having a family someday. So I had a list on my phone, and we just, whenever we talked about baby names, would add to it, and we've just had that for all these years, and now we finally have been able to look back on it and put it to use. So my 2-year-old's name is Avery, and we actually did not have that name on our list. Our number 1 name, I will share in this video from our list, became extremely, extremely popular, and I no longer wanted to use it because of that. So I fell in love with the name Avery, and of course so did my husband, and now it just feels weird to think of my daughter as anything other than Avery. So it's a perfect fit for her, and hopefully the same happens with this baby girl. I'm just so out of breath. I can't even talk. I have 8 names to share with you guys today. We are thinking that we are done at 2, so I feel comfortable putting these names out into the world. So the likelihood of us using them in the future is pretty slim, but you never do know. So if you're currently expecting a little girl and you're trying to come up with a name, hopefully this can give you some ideas of maybe some that you haven't thought of yet or haven't heard of before. And then I also have 2 middle names that we had kind of on our middle name list that go with a lot of first names, so I will share those with you as well. So these are really in no particular order other than the first one. So we were going to name my first daughter Emma, and I'm sure you have probably heard of a million babies being named Emma in the last probably 2 to 3 years. It just became such a popular name, and there were so many Emmas that I even knew just in my life that it was just like overused, and it's like I really don't want to name her Emma anymore. Of course, after we came up with the name Avery, that started to be more popular too, so I've seen Avery a lot now too, so we'll just see. I mean, obviously my name is Katie, which is like the number one popular 90s girl name. I feel like I grew up, I was always, had to use my last name to be identified which Katie somebody was talking about. One of my best friend's names is Katie. So it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. I wouldn't change my name. I'm glad my name's Katie, even though it was super common. But I digress. But yes, so Emma is the first name that I just always loved that name. I thought it was such a sweet, girly name that works for baby and adult. So the next name is Chloe. I think it's such a cute name. I would spell it with a C, not with a K, like the Kardashian. And I think I used to like name some of my baby dolls Chloe. I've just always loved that name. I think it's such a sweet little girl name, and also works for a woman. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about the name, but it's just one I always liked. So kind of that similar sounding name, the next one is Hayley, which again, I don't really know what to say about these names other than that I really just think they're sweet names that I really liked, and I like really feminine names, so I thought that all of these so far just fit that. And I will say that my husband did not necessarily approve of all of these names on the list, so these are baby names that I love that we won't be using, some because he didn't like them, others just because I kind of grew out of loving them, or they just weren't at the top of my list. So yeah, Hayley. So the next name has also become popular in recent years, and that is Charlotte. So obviously Kate and William had their baby girl a few years ago, quite a few years ago now, and named her Charlotte, and that kind of boosted the popularity of the name, but I just still love it. I think it's still unique enough that it's not super overused, or at least I don't hear it used that often, but I think that is just such a beautiful name and very classic, very traditional. I was a big fan of American Girl dolls when I was growing up, and I don't know if one of them actually was named Charlotte or I'm just imagining that. But anyways, I picture kind of like an American Girl doll, like just very classic traditional girl named Charlotte. And then of course with the royal baby being named Charlotte, that just furthers that image in my mind. So my husband, that was the one my husband was like, no, we're not naming her Charlotte. So I had to cross that off, but I love it so much. So the next name was a really, really big contender for this baby, near the top of the list, and that is Olivia. So that is another one that I feel like has become pretty popular in recent years. I can't say that I ever thought of it or loved it before it became popular, so I'm kind of riding the wave of that trend, but I just love that name. I think it's so cute, and like I said, it was pretty close to the top of my list. I don't remember if my husband thought much of it or not, but for me that was like, okay, maybe in my top 3 for this baby. Olivia was also one of the names that people were guessing for this baby, so if you guessed that, you were almost right. The next name also one person guessed for this baby in the like baby shower, virtual baby shower game I did on Instagram. And I was kind of shocked that someone actually guessed it, but that is Harper. So I love the name Harper. That was probably also in my top 3 for this baby. I just couldn't get it out of my mind. I don't know. of many babies named Harper. I think it's such a unique name. It's so cute. But the thing that I couldn't get past, and people are probably going to think I'm crazy, but I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy fan. So obviously, if you watch Grey's Anatomy, you know about Harper Avery. And I have a daughter named Avery. So I just couldn't, I didn't know if I could get past having Avery and Harper as my daughters because of Grey's Anatomy. So for reasons other than that, we didn't end up going with that name, but I still love the name. If I didn't have an Avery, it might have been even higher on my list. I don't know. So this next name is one that I have loved since a certain song came out many years ago. One of my favorite songs, still is to this day, and I just thought, how cool would it be if that was like your song because that was your name, and that is Delilah. So obviously the song is Hey There Delilah. That was like, I don't know if that was when I was in middle school or high school, but that song was the one that I played just on repeat. You know, when a song comes out and you love it so much, you just play it over and over and over again. I love that song. I just love that name, but it was almost too unique for me. I don't know if I could actually name my child Delilah, but I love the idea of it. Okay, and the last first name that I share, and then I'll share our two middle names, is Savannah. So that's one that my husband and I both agreed was a really cute name, and we love it so much. It's just, again, just that southern vibe. Obviously, it doesn't get much more southern than Savannah. But it's just such a sweet name. And I know a couple people who their kids are named Savannah, and they're all really adorable kids. So that didn't deter me from wanting to use the name. They're not super close, so it wasn't like I'm stealing my friend's name or anything. But yeah, it's just such a sweet name, and I don't know. I just love it. There's no, like I said, there's no like story or reason behind a lot of these names. They're just names that I loved and have loved for a long time and have always been on my little baby list note in my phone, because you know you have one of those. Even if you're not ready for kids, I know you have a baby list name note in your phone. Okay, so middle names. So my daughter Avery, her middle name is Marie, and that is kind of a family name. And then this baby girl's middle name is also a family name. So these two were some that I just liked. I didn't have it specifically with any of the names, but I just think they would go with a lot and are probably honestly pretty common middle names. So first is Grace, which actually is one of my cousin's middle names, but I don't think she'd mind if we borrowed it. We're not going to, but I don't think she would have minded if we did. I think that is just such a wonderful, like, personality trait, I guess. Like grace, just being graceful, giving grace to others, giving grace to yourself. I just love the meaning behind that, and I think it flows nicely with a lot of names. In sort of a similar thread, the other middle name is Faith. Again, I think it goes with a lot of the first names that I've always loved. It's kind of that southern vibe, and then of course just having faith in yourself, in God, in others, in your life, and the hope that things will just turn out the way they should, and having faith in that. I just think it's kind of a beautiful message and a beautiful name, or beautiful word to have as part of your name. So that is everything. So I hope that you guys like some of these names. I'd love to hear any other names that are on your list in the comments. If you want to comment here on YouTube with your baby name guess for this baby, feel free to do that. That video will be up after she's born. Like I said, we're going to do some sort of a name reveal video, so I'm excited for that. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it gave you some ideas for your future baby girl. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you can stay up to date with us and see everything that is coming. It's a very exciting time in our lives. Obviously, welcoming a new baby into the world is pretty much the best thing ever. So I can't wait to just capture it all and share it with you. See you next time. Bye.